Dr. Joanna Kujawa, Joanna for you, and I'm your spiritual detective. And as you see, I'm wearing this hat today to have a spiritual detective look. And so far I was talking about my book in rather serious ways, and today I wanted to be a little bit lighter but also more personal. Because so far I was not talking about the first part of the book, at least about the first part of my book, because the second part of the first part of my book is about tantric goddesses, but the first part of the book talks about the relationship between goddess, femininity, and Eros, and also about my experiences and other people's experiences. And if we look back at our earliest days, when we were growing up as women or men, I remember that it was really a process of shaming. I was evaluated right from the beginning on the standards of beauty and how I fit into this beauty, where I was too slim and where I was not slim, where, who was prettier than me, how I should look, and so on. And then a strange thing happened to me. I escaped to Paris, and I realized that they also have very, very rigid standards of beauty, okay? But I realized that they have completely different standards of beauty. So it started to dawn on me, and it was really almost like a Gnostic or Tantric experience in my consciousness, that there are many different narratives of beauty, sensuality, sexuality, spirituality, and in fact, we don't have to conform to mainstream narratives. In fact, we can choose the narrative we want to live. We can define our own beauty. We can define our own sensuality. We can define our relationship between spirit, body, and sexuality, or Eros, as I prefer to call it, because sexuality was so demeaned that I almost feel like we have to find a different word. And I really love this French and English word erotic or erotique, because it gives this more aesthetic and maybe spiritual dimension as well. That we can not only choose a narrative, we can create our own narrative. That I can define myself as beautiful, you can define yourself as beautiful. We can define what is handsomeness, for you as a man, what is beautiful for you as a woman, and what is your own personal relationship with your own sexuality, with your own spirit, and do they really have to be separate? And I think this is extremely important. And I believe that nowadays, these are the days when we have to claim it, when we have to change this narrative, or we can at least stray away from the mainstream narrative, because not every woman wants to be a mother. Not every woman wants to be maybe framed in the narrative of mother, for example, for the rest of her life. It is a very satisfying archetype, but perhaps not for all of your life. For some women it is, but it's not for everybody. And when I was looking at the goddesses of the past, I realized that many goddesses, especially Inanna, and early goddesses, and also tantric goddesses such as Sundari or Kali, they claimed it for themselves. They didn't even claim it. They embodied it. They embodied spirit and sexuality and erotic rapture. And they carried this wisdom until it was repressed. And I'm pretty sure that it was not repressed for innocent reasons. But I don't really look that much into this. I'm just saying that this narrative was constantly changed and suppressed, and goddesses, their sensuality and their wisdom, their erotic wisdom, was repressed, and then we have to claim it for ourselves. So this is what I want us to learn from this book. When we think about why is it relevant, yes, we know there's goddesses, lots of people do this research, but I want to claim it for you. What is your beauty? What is your sensuality? Have you had an experience of erotic rapture that actually brought you closer to the spirit? I had it. Other people had it. They shared it with me. All this, and this evidence was also carried through millennia. Although not often in written sources, but they are almost trapped in our imagination, in our subconscious, and that's why we are longing for this other feminine that was never fully discovered, and if it was, it had been lost. It was lost because somebody suppress it, and we have to bring it back from the shadows to the light and claim it for ourselves and embody it for ourselves. Because how rarely do we see a woman who claims her wisdom, who claims her sensuality in a conscious way. It's not about throwing out, sensuality, throwing it at everybody unconsciously, and it sometimes happens, especially for young, attractive women. But to claim it in a conscious way, to claim the wisdom that has been forgotten, and to define ourselves according to our own narratives. And I think we have to create our own narratives, not only about our own beauty, not only about our sensuality, but about our connection with spirit through sensuality, because there are esoteric traditions like that, and we have to reclaim them not only for academic reasons, but simply so we can embody them. And this is exactly why the other goddess, the forgotten goddess, the repressed goddess beyond the mother archetype, has to be reclaimed, because without it we cannot truly evolve spiritually, and we cannot evolve as species, because one very important part of us is left in the shadows. And with that, I would like to finish this video, and I would like to encourage you to create your own narrative of your own beauty, of your own sensuality. How are you going to embody it, and how can you make it bring you closer to your own spirit and to your highest potential? Thank you.